What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 28 here on the 52 Horrific Weeks of 1988. I'm your host, Moon616, and thank you once again for dropping in, guys. Alrighty, yeah. Week 28 is here. Once again, the remaining films went into the randomizer. Hit that fucking random button. And we've got an obscure one. It is called Curse of the Blue Lights. This one was released by Code Red. Kind of pretty much an unknown type film. I remember hearing about this one years and years ago, but I'd never actually seen it, so. But the cover art always intrigued me. Very cool cover art on this one, so. But yeah, getting to the plot of this one, it centers around, you got about 7 main characters here. They have just made their way out to like a make-out lane type deal. On the outskirts of town in this area called Blue Lights. Anyways, so they're out there, to do their thing and whatnot. Anyways, there is kind of like a whole mythological kind of story behind the area about how there's like blue lights that bounce around and whatnot. And of course, so once they all get up to this makeout area and whatnot, they decide to go exploring in the area. And sure enough, they actually see some bouncing blue lights like in the distance and stuff. So they start to investigate even further. Anyways, it kind of brings them into this area and whatnot. And they come across this, basically what it is, it's like a statue of this ancient god called Maldoon. And anyways, they find this thing and they start freaking out. They're like, well, we need to go fucking tell somebody or go grab a truck to pull this thing out of here. Because they figure it's going to make them rich. And stuff like that, so. But anyways, one of the guys finds like this kind of, it's almost like a huge coin right on top of, this rock-defied hand that's kind of sitting outside of the ground and stuff. So anyways, they decide they book the fuck out of there. And they're on their way back into town and they get pulled over by a police officer. And of course the driver of the car, he's very well known to them and stuff. Anyways, they try to explain that they found like the remains of this ancient god of this Maldoon character. Anyways, the cop of course does not believe them. So they insist on that he comes back to the site to so they can show them what they have found. So anyways, they get back there and of course the Maldoon is gone. And so the cop writes them up tickets, he takes off and shit like that. Anyway, so they start to investigate further. They see that this thing has been dragged right through off on the ground and right into this kind of cemetery area. Anyways, they follow the tracks in there, and what they see like down below in the cemetery is they make their way like into this underground kind of lair thing, and they find like some basically almost like zombie-like creatures down there, and they're basically trying to conjure up their god. So they've got the key to unlock the whole thing though, so now it's basically them against the creatures and whatnot. What they do is they kind of freak out and they don't really know what to do, so they go and seek out the help of this witch. The witch is ridiculous in the film. Anyway, she tells them like the whole story of what to do and what not to do and stuff like that, and so basically it's them against these kind of zombie type creature type deals and stuff, so they got to protect this key so they don't unlock this ancient god so they can take over the universe or the world. Yeah, wow, the premise of this film is way too extreme for what it is. Really, there's a lot of story to it. But yeah, my thoughts on this one. Now, I think this movie's actually quite fun. The positives to this film are that it's a very, very dark film, and what I mean by dark is like it's shot all at nighttime, very, very low lights and stuff, and it actually does kind of have like a bluish green or bluish kind of gray tinge to the whole film, which is actually quite cool. So the atmosphere is very, very cool. I love the sets and the areas that they filmed in are kind of cheap at times, but it kind of adds to the character of the film. It really does. Now, the acting in this film is pretty fucking bad. It is really, really bad. And it mixed in with some really bad dialogue and stuff. The witch in this film, completely overacting, just kind of bad. But it's the dialogue at times. It's just so bad. But it has a certain level of charm to it. Now, the coolest thing about this movie is that it's really, really low budget. But the makeup effects in this film are done really well. All the creatures are zombies and whatnot, whatever you want to call them, are done very well. It's very cool effects and stuff. There's a lot of kind of like melting scenes. These creatures are zombies. What they do with these bodies is they kind of melt them down in this underground layer. So there's like a lot of like melting scenes of bodies melting and stuff. Kind of cool. I mean, there's not like an abundance of blood and gore in this film at all. It's just certain scenes in the film. Which is kind of a shame, mixed in with no nudity at all. There's no nudity. But the atmosphere alone in this movie just kind of creates a very kind of fun time. The whole end of this movie is so ridiculous. When the Malgoon, the Maldone, whatever you want to fucking call him, kind of gets resurrected and stuff, and they got a battle. It's just absolutely fucking ridiculous, man. It's so funny. But it's a good, like, 80s type schlock type film, really. It's what it is. It's, at times, I think that the dialogue might have been written as bad as it was on purpose for, like, comedy relief and stuff. It's not meant to be a comedy at all, but there is definitely comedic elements in the film. Maybe it's just because it's so ridiculous and cheesy, but I don't know. It's a kind of a fun film. Every time I watch this movie, I find that it runs just a little too long. It runs about 105 minutes or something like that. I think they probably could have cut it down just a tad bit. With that said, though, it's still fun. If I had to rate this one, I couldn't give it like a huge rating, but I think I'm going to give it about a 6.5 out of 10. I definitely, recommend this film. But it's hard to seek out because you can only get it through Code Red, and it's expensive. Actually, Diabolic has copies of this right now. So I don't really know what else to say about it. I guess I'll just leave the review there. But Curse of the Blue Lights, it's kind of an interesting film. Definitely check it out. If I had to compare it to something, I would probably say it's like on the lines of like Neon Maniacs meets like Spookies in a way. I think that's probably the best way of summing up, or to give people a general idea of what this is. So if you've seen those movies, it's kind of on those levels, but different though. So, anyways, Curse of the Blue Lights, week 28 here on the 88 series. All right, guys, I will check you back next week, and hope you enjoyed the review. Peace out.